Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you are choosing to use, and it's Sunday, February 15th, Cheap Chocolate Day, 2 p.m., which means
we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
hello, YouTube room. Hello, all the Poison pals and the friends out there. Today, we gather to talk about some wrestling, and we're going to have some grand slams, a good eight. We're going to talk about some roads to Mania, Elimination Chamber, some AEWs, and a whole lot more. As we say, the wrestling never stops.
Never stops. Yes. Big week last week was we were very WWE heavy. I think we're going to flip that this week with pretty great Dynamite we had on Wednesday, and obviously AEW Grand Slam Australia yesterday, bumper collision edition yesterday down under. We'll be talking all about that today, and then maybe a bit about the build to Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania ticket sales, 25% off on a buy one, get one free 2-night extravaganza. We'll be going there today. Lots and lots to talk about.
We're going to Vegas today? We're going?
You know what? Like, I saw that thing and I was like, like first year in a long time, like I haven't even considered going to WrestleMania. Last year I had booked a hotel, like when the dates were announced. Like I always just do that cancelable just in case. I seem to want to go, and then as the months were ticking away, more and more people were dropping out and called it off. And then this year I'm hearing, Vegas are missing the Canadians. Vegas are dropping hotel prices. They want tourism. Vegas wants us. And then we see Allegiant Stadium dropping that tweet, 25% off tickets. And I'm like, I think I'll enjoy the experience at the National just as much. And I have a few trips planned. But you know what? It's slightly tempted. Not that I have a fucking clue what the card is going to be, but it looks like things are finally like biting them on the ass a little bit, from running the same market to jacking up these ticket sales, and pair that with a bit of lack of creativity, and then putting out a show on Netflix where they admit they're lacking creativity. It's the perfect storm for these price drops.
Yeah, like hearing casinos being like, hey, Canadians, we miss you. We'll honor your dollar at par is an insane thing. Just our dollar is so low compared to the American dollar right now. And that casinos are trying anything to get people back. But then, I heard horror stories from the last year or so with not just WrestleMania weekend, but just like friends or family members who have been to Vegas in the last year or so. And just everything is gone up. Like insane amount. The craziest thing, I knew I was out WrestleMania last year when someone told me the hotel they stayed at downtown on the Strip charged them $50 to use the fridge in the hotel. And I was like, that just sounds illegal. That's like when you play Roller Coaster Tycoon and you charge a lot of money for the washrooms or something. Like, how fucked is that? I'm seeing Jake now in the chat bringing that up. Yeah, like it's insane. So like I have no sympathy for the scumbags who are running the show down in Vegas, because like charging someone to use a fridge in a probably a hotel suite that you're already paying for, like that's just stupid.
I think this is happening all around. Like I work obviously in the bar industry here, and the sales like this year are down. And like talking to other people at other bars and things, they're like, it's people aren't going out anymore. And granted, it's that time of year. People do their dry January, dry February. They have their resolutions. They spent a lot at Christmas, at New Year, and things like that. But like we look at the Super Bowl sales, and they're down. And there's like lots of things that are down from previous years. And it's interesting because I think we came out of COVID and places were opening up, and places were inflation and jacking up prices because they were trying to make up for lost time. when the bars were closed, and prices just kept going up and up and up, and it's lost people. And if you look around the city now, the happy hours in bars are cheaper than they were a year or so ago. So many happy hours, so many cheaper drinks, which, because they've realized it's like, oh fuck, we've reached that saturation point and we need to try and get these people back. But unfortunately, you've lost a lot of people, especially like your Gen Z, I'd say, who are like, they came out, oh no, that's expensive, I'd rather make money doing a dance on TikTok and stay at home, you know. And it's not necessarily enticing to bring people out. You see people sharing cocktails now if they do go out, and drinking less and less. And I think it's just the same everything. I think WWE, they were riding that success and they were going, oh, well, we can jack these prices up a little bit. We can jack these prices up a little bit. And yeah, running the same market where I think people that went to Vegas last year are like, well, I just did that last year. I don't need to do that again. Plus, wow, look at those prices. I ain't spending that. Wow, look at these hotel prices. I ain't spending that. And now suddenly they're like, oh, we're sorry. Like, can you come back, please? And, you know, I feel for those people that have already bought tickets. And now
I'd be pissed.
Spend that money. And then you say, what the fuck? I could have get 25% off this.
Absolutely.
I'd be mad. And I think that's why, like, we and a lot of our people tend to just play the game a little bit and wait things out and see if they drop. But it's very interesting. And I know my friend, a mutual friend of ours, goes to Seneca, which is the casino, Niagara Falls, New York. And the amount of stuff they throw at him because he's got a Canadian address. He calls up and he's like, hey, he gets offered free hotel stays all the time. And now basically it's any time he calls. He's like, hey, I'm thinking of coming down on Wednesday. Do you have a room? Yep, we'll give it to you for free. We'll give you a free upgrade. We'll give you $50 free spending money and a free meal at the restaurant and this and this. And it's crazy. And the Americans aren't getting those offers. It's because he's Canadian, he's a tourist, and they need to fill these places. So it's very interesting seeing somewhere as Vegas, which you consider like the mecca of
supposedly
casinos and all that kind of thing, really struggling right now.
Like, of course, they're going to offer, they still will offer lots of free drinks and free stays and stuff, stays in nice rooms for, maybe the elite and people who are, who go to Vegas often, but they clearly are hurting. I'm seeing on the news here in Canada and Toronto, they're saying like lots of flights this year, the year of 2026, some airlines have just canceled some of the normal flights to the States because the sales are so down that they're like, we'll lose money if we're only flying like a half plane full of people to certain destinations because just less people are kind of going to it. I know last year we were pretty heavy in going into the US. We went a few times for different wrestling events and so much, but we kind of joked, whether it was on this show or in person with ourselves and our friend group, like, okay, 2026, let's try not to go to the States. Let's try not to, there's other countries, you're from, we're part of the Commonwealth where you're from. So it's like, we could go back there, all in Wembley. You're going to Asia. Like we've been, we're going to like, let's not go. We're going to Vancouver. It's like, let's try to do Canada stuff. And then of course it's like Grand Slam, Queens. It's like, oh, fuck you. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. But it's like, I don't want to support right now just because whenever I turn on my TV, you got the president of the United States yapping at us, either telling us that the only thing we're good at is ice hockey. And about 20 minutes ago, we are 10-2 Canada, France, by the way. So USA, get fucked. There's no chance you're beating that dream team. And then second of all, if he's not trying to diss us in hockey, even though we wiped the floor with you guys, sorry, not sorry, or he's trying to annex us and joke, still joking about how he could just take us over. Now the jokes are like, hey, look what I did to Venezuela. That could be you. It's like, fuck off. So I don't want to go give you guys money right now. I want to stay comfortably where I am. So it is weird watching that in Vegas. Like, oh, please, Canadians, come back. It's like, there's still people traveling. And of course, like borders should not separate us as people, but when you got that guy pretty much threatening our existence, it's hard not to take things personally. And on the fact of taking things personally, those fucking tariffs are taking away all my favorite Costco products. So all my favorite American Costco products are no longer becoming available. So yeah, I am taking it personally, and I'm very upset. So if it does go to USA, Team Canada in men's hockey, which probably still will in the finals. Oh my God. Have you watched any of this?
I didn't catch this morning's game.
No.
But yeah, I've seen, well, this was the third game, right? I've seen game 1 and 2 so far.
Yeah. Oh man.
Going very well.
It's just like they're just showing off at this point. Sid the Kid and his not so kid, but in his last, it's like he's on his Sting run, basically, is Crosby. But yeah, I don't know if I want to support going to the United States anytime soon, but we have shows coming to Canada. We got stuff to do in our own country, but again, borders don't define us. I love all our American friends and stuff, but get it in check, guys. Get it in check, whatever's going on down there. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have Elimination Chamber coming up. We got WrestleMania. You mentioned why not watch WrestleMania at National. That is something we will be doing. That is obviously a bit ways away, but we can kind of quasi-announce now. We will be doing a 2-night event in Toronto at National in the Well downtown. So we have a lot of fun. Borders might separate us, but wrestling, it brings us together. And that's what we're going to do also in a few weeks. Saturday, February 28th, we will be doing an Elimination Chamber watch party downtown Toronto. Poisonrana.ca for links of the tickets and all the information. If you want to come watch, we'll have it on all the screens, the big screen as well, some games, some raffles. We still got some prizes to give away.
We do. We might need to top up a little bit, but yeah, we've got some great masks. We've got the Austin vest, the DX jersey. We will get some tickets for some local shows. We always have a bunch of stuff. Got some wrestling figures, some Funko Pops if Amazon ever decide to deliver them. We got a lot.
Yes, definitely looking forward to some raffles and some prizes, and then watching wrestling. So if you're in the Toronto area, you want to come watch Elimination Chamber, and then down the line we'll be doing Mania as well. So tons of fun stuff happening in the city of Toronto, as well as looking ahead. Demand Lucha, our pals there, they're doing a bunch of shows. One show in March, one show in April as well. Northern Crown got another show coming up. We love their stuff as well. So indie wrestling, super strong. Wherever you are, support your independent wrestling, because a lot of the times the people you watch will end up being on TVs. I know AEW is just in Australia that we'll talk about, but they did their house show, and then you had wrestlers showing up at a lot of other independents and whatnot. So wrestling just popping off right now. Everyone's asking about wrestling. Do you find the people, okay, you're at a bar and people know you're the wrestling guy, but do you find that even more so than like last year, that people are like just seem to know about it more? It just seems to be in that pop culture thing.
I don't know. I'd say a bit less maybe than last year. But I always do like there was nothing on TV last night because we got the Olympics, so there was no hockey. It was the All-Star NBA, so there was no like normally you get a lot of basketball games on a Saturday night. We didn't have that, so really struggling for what to put on. So I had lacrosse on for a little bit. I had women's college basketball on for a bit, and then I ended up just throwing on All In 2024 on the bar on one of the screens, and it does always draw eyes when you've got wrestling on. And it was interesting because people were asking about it, and they're like, "Wow, this is in England. I thought it was only popular in America. I didn't realize it was so big as this." And kind of explaining what AEW is. They're like, "Oh, I haven't heard of this AEW thing." And one guy who doesn't particularly like wrestling at all, but was asking about it, and he's like, "So are they a rival?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so. They're the biggest competition WWE has. Financially, WWE is still like leagues ahead of them, but technically they do have the record for the highest tickets sales for an event." And he just went like, fuck yeah. Like basically like this story. He was like, Vince McMahon's a horrible person. Like,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, that's great. Like, great to see. It's not necessarily my thing, but it's cool to see that there are other options and there are like being able to compete on like a big scale and have it like a big show. So yeah, that was kind of cool. So things like that, I think people are curious about. And but I don't know if it's as big in pop culture as it was, say, like, you know, the WrestleMania 40 build or things like that.
Oh, I think because you had WrestleMania 40 and then what, like the Vince thing last year, like the documentary
Mr.
series,
McMahon.
right? So yeah, like that definitely had a lot of people buzzing and talking about it. But I'm noticing still like you're seeing crossovers. Like I went to a mall, which I felt like I haven't been inside a mall for a long time, which sounds funny to say, but is legit. Like we live downtown, it's like Eaton Center stuff, just haven't been inside. But I went, shout out Scarborough, went to STC and I noticed like so many stores had WWE stuff. Like Hot Topic, get this, Hot Topic had 7 different Rhea Ripley shirts.
Wow.
7 different Rhea Ripley shirts. They had 2 CM Punk, a Penta, and a John Cena. 7 different. 2 of the Ripley shirts were the Terrifier Rhea Ripley like crossover.
Yep.
But I counted 7 different Ripley designs. Isn't that mental?
That's crazy.
Like that tells you who's the star of WWE right now.
I mean, I will say, like, when you like say about pop culture, I do like a lot of friends send me like you know, like reels and things where it's just a clip from a wrestling match and it's a caption from it. Like I'm already seeing the MJF face from the Fuck Ice chants last week being gifted a lot or memed a lot, and people being like, I don't know who this is, but like this face sums up this or whatever, you know, like it's so I am seeing it like used for that kind of thing. And obviously wrestling is great for memeable and referential kind of stuff.
It is interesting seeing, you know, whether it's people who are never been interested in that or whatever, like now asking, or like you said, sending memes and stuff. It definitely in the last little while it's crossed over into this. So like, yeah, WrestleMania doing 25%, like that's still going to be a complete, like huge 2-night kind of thing. And I'm sure people will be talking about it and this and that, but it's like, it feels big. I'm seeing it more often. I'm seeing shirts in public again, you know, like the nerd culture, when that exploded, it was cool to be like into comic books and shit. And now you're seeing that with like back to wrestling, where there's days when you didn't want to tell people that you watched wrestling, and then they'd be like, oh yeah, what's that? And then you'd show them something. And of course it'd be the one segment that was embarrassing or something.
So aside from just, you know, making tickets cheaper and things like that, what do you think they need to do to drive interest for this year's WrestleMania? Obviously, you can't really finalize plans. Last year, it was like Elimination Chamber where you lock in like, okay, these are the real directions. But so in a couple of weeks, I feel we should hopefully have a clearer picture of what is the card is. But what are some fixes you think they can do right now to help?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like last year, I thought the build for WrestleMania was pretty lackluster, even though you had John Cena and that heel turn. Like I think unanimously fans are like, you kind of fucked that up. I mean, we talked about Unreal last week. It seemed like even WWE kind of admit that they kind of fumbled that a little bit. Like ticket sales, money, all that stuff wouldn't tell you otherwise, because they did financially well on the John Cena retirement tour. But like artistic side of it, if you can call it that, the creative side of it, like it was whack. It was lame. It was not good. So this time around, I don't know, what is the big hook? Okay, Roman and Punk, but is that Punk basically working promos with himself for the next few months?
Roman is on I think he's got 5 dates before Mania, so that's
5. How many weeks of TV till Mania?
Well, there's like 8 weeks of TV. And
okay, so that's
more than I thought he'd be. Like I thought we'd see like that promo and then he'll show up on the go home.
Sound great. You just, oh yeah, dude's gonna show up 5 more times before WrestleMania. It's like, oh, okay. So a lot of promo packages, but that is still the biggest match. But I don't know. What do you do? Like, do people outside of wrestling know what this is? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, those 2 guys are popular, but
I doubt you'd be able to get the insurance to get him to wrestle, but I'd try and get Bad Bunny involved in some way for this.
Bad Bunny Logan Paul would be like one of the biggest matches.
I don't know if you're going to get him to wrestle at this point with how
Yeah.
huge he is, but like I think just some presence on the show, whether it's a, you know, guest referee spot and then he hits a move to the heel at the end or something, but I think that would drive interest. And aside from that, The Rock probably.
Like The Rock, definitely, he didn't get the Oscar nom, so you know he was ringing up Triple H like, "Hey, what can we do?" I imagine
is your card set yet? No. What? Wait, it's not set. No. So I can't fuck anything up. No, not this time. All right, call me when you've got a card, and then we'll talk.
I feel like he will wrestle next year.
Next year.
Like Saudi WrestleMania, The Rock, that could be the biggest anyone's ever been paid for a match.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And it should be him. Like, he's the draw, he's still a draw. So like, I don't know. I could definitely see that happening. Maybe I know he's got to film that Scorsese movie. That definitely sounds interesting. But I wonder, does he have an appearance as the Scorpion King in the new Mummy with Brendan Fraser?
Mummy 4?
Mummy 4? Yeah. Book it, get him in that. I liked Smashing Machine. I didn't necessarily think it was the Oscar winning performance, but I think he needs to have one more big match. Like, I don't know where we can go with him. Like, obviously he pissed a lot of people off the last few times he was on TV with WWE, but I feel like there's a lot of loose ends that they could course correct if they really wanted to and tried. But I don't know. Maybe he's sour that Triple H and Shawn Michaels wasn't paying his daughter enough or something. I don't know.
Like Rock versus Cody and Rock versus Roman are the two options really aren't there. And it's a shame. Like, it looked at one point that we were going to get both of them, and it's leaning more to never seeing any of them. But they're both things that you can pretty much book in a night. You know, one episode of Raw to set up. Like the story's already there for both of them. If he does come round and is available for this year's Mania, like Rock versus Cody, as Jake is saying in the chat, yes, Cody qualified for the Elimination Chamber, but it seems like that title is the one up in the air at the moment. They're still kind of teasing the Sammy stuff. There's the Jacob Fatu stuff. Okay, they didn't qualify to be in the chamber, but there's always ways you can write people into the matches. So maybe that, but you know, time's ticking away, and I've not heard any rumblings of The Rock for this year.
I wouldn't imagine he's wrestling this year, but like, again, I kind of would think he would wrestle next year. Just, he's not done one of these Saudi shows, the 2 nights in Saudi. He's the biggest character wrestler you could potentially book for a Mania, and it could be one of the biggest paydays ever. He could retire like from the in-ring, essentially, even if at that point. But what is the match? Do you do Roman or do you do Cody? Like, right? Like,
I feel Roman Rock has the bigger, like, broader appeal. I would think just the family connection and stuff like that. And Roman probably, like, I feel Cody's going to be around quite a bit longer, whereas I feel Roman could be doing the Hollywood thing soon. I think that is probably what you would go with over the two. But I think Cody Rock would probably actually be a better build and a better match.
Yeah, I kind of would prefer Cody Rock just because of the stuff that we did see.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, you are right. Like, think 2 years ago, The Rock was cutting Twitter, Instagram promos, and that shit got you so hyped for WrestleMania. Like he was killing it. And now I know I just think of the last few appearances, like he stunk up the joint. That NXT promo, the Raw thing, Netflix. But think, like 2 years ago, he did bring in a lot of people for that Mania in Philly. Like, us included. Like, we were hyped. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's coming around this season for WrestleMania. Hey, maybe he shows up at the show. I don't know. And that can set up something for next year. But yeah, I could see him wrestling one more time. And Saudi would definitely be the place I would say it. But yeah, what else this year could they do? Okay, Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. You see like social media buzzing about how we should have that match, but is like, would he be ready if he hasn't been training like he used to for these things? Or like, is it too soon? Is it something you set up for next year at WrestleMania as well, right? Like you could have them have a moment at WrestleMania this year, which then gets the buzz and everything, but I'm not sure. But that seems to be the big one of like, people know who Logan Paul is outside of wrestling, and people definitely know who Bad Bunny is outside of wrestling. So like to have them fight now.
After the last week, I'd say Bad Bunny Jake Paul is the match you built.
Right. Oh yes, yeah. See, then that's where you could like the stuff about what Puerto Rico.
Yeah, they won't go there. They're not gonna go there, but
they should though. They should like that's what wrestling is. You mix, you're blending reality, and like as long as Bad Bunny goes over and lays the Puerto Rican flag over the body of Logan Paul, then we're good. But we'll see if that ever happens. But yes, what can WrestleMania do to get you ticket? Like, I'm sure, how bad can ticket sales be that they're like, 25%? That's crazy. Like, interesting. Well, we'll talk maybe a little bit more about some stuff that happened from Raw and SmackDown, which we'll set up for Elimination Chamber in just a few weeks. Before I feel like we'll probably start things off with the AEW Grand Slam, but quickly before then, we do have tons of other shows. A big week here for us. Not only do we have a new Up Next coming up this Tuesday on Post Wrestling after NXT, but we have a Patreon and we have tons of shows. We recently dropped a best match ever, AJ Styles in TNA. It's part one of what we're going to do. 3 of these best match evers featuring the best of AJ Styles. We even linked the matches for you that are available for free on TNA's YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But we looked at the best 7 matches from AJ Styles in TNA, talking Jerry Lynn, Kurt Angle, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, and so much more. So this was a blast from the past. And who knows, maybe he didn't actually retire. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that front. But I will say, did you not get any spider sense or alarm bells going off when they tell you all in tickets are going on sale the day after Revolution? Am I the only one that's like, wait a second? Is there a reason? Is there a reason why? Is the Staples Center or whatever the center they call that now, the Bitcoin Arena, going to get a little phenomenal? Is that something that could happen, or are we crazy?
Wasn't the last word was like he's having talks with WWE for some sort of role, but is essentially a free agent now? People saying he doesn't seem to be interested, but he's like, this is now where legally other companies can put out feelers and talk to him. And I'm sure Tony Khan is putting out those feelers.
He's throwing out, just making it rain.
Yeah.
Like, AJ, do you know how many video games you could buy with this? your kids could be set for life. Like, I wasn't going to pay Kurt Angle that, but Chris Jericho's gone. Maybe we freed up some dollars.
Is Chris Jericho gone?
I don't know. Again, Jericho saw that AMC debut, was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No, thanks. No, I'm good. Yes, we talked about the best of AJ. Maybe this will be some virtue signaling, and maybe he will show up in AEW. I know we sound crazy, but do we? We want to see it. Sorry, I want to see some good wrestling. We also just did
virtue signaling. I don't think you've used that correctly.
Oh, I totally did. Well, I'm prayer circle, I guess, for AJ is what I mean. I want to see him there, and I'll pray to all the gods I never pray to have him wrestle in AEW, but I don't think that will happen. But I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
When it happens, then I'll lose my mind. But I just want to hear that demigods in Wembley. We had another big show. We also do a series called upYours, where our family member world champ patrons, if you become one of those, you get access to Behind the BDE every month, but you also get to pick stuff. And our family member Howie has selected Kill Bill Volume 2. We have reviewed Kill Bill Part 1 maybe about a year ago in the back catalog there, but we finally finished the whole bloody affair as Davie watches it for the first time. We talked about Tarantino, Uma Thurman, eyeball gouging, and so much more in our Kill Bill Part 2. And shout out our guest there, Howie, and his dog, Tabasco. That might be one of the best. Oh, I think you're muted there, Davie. That might be one of the best dog names I've ever heard. Tabasco. So shout out Howie. He says he listens to our shows while walking his dog, Tabasco. And that's what we like to hear on our podcast. So if you're listening to us while walking your dog or cat or lizard or whatever, shout out animals.
Yeah. I'm also always open for you sending pictures of your pets to us on Twitter.
Right.
Like that's a good thing. Twitter's a cesspool, but like show me a picture of a dog watching Dynamite. That makes me happy.
Does anyone out there have a frog like Poisonrana? Maybe
frog?
Someone like I looked into getting us a pet frog, and the guy at the store, it was a very sketchy situation. He was like, "Look, I can get you anything, but I don't want you to have a frog, because if you have one, it'll kill itself, and if you have two, one will eat the other, and then it'll kill itself." I'm like, "All right, fair enough." I'm not gonna get a frog, as much as it would be cool for our show. But
I'm excited about the news that raccoons are becoming more and more domesticated. So
yeah, okay.
one day I might get a raccoon.
How do you think Ralph is doing?
I'm sure he's all right. I know one of our listeners who attends our shows moved into our place, so I'm hoping that they're
taking care of Ralph.
Taking care of Ralph, especially in those summer months when you're outside in the garden, just chilling with Ralph. Yeah.
We used to
love that guy.
We used to have a pet raccoon in the backyard, but we moved. So
we had a bunch of pets. We had the ginger cat. We had
that's right. Yeah. Well, we talked about Kill Bill with Howie. This week we have another big show coming up, because we do a podcast series called The Champ Is Here. And this week we will be joined by our friends Eric and Randy from The Draw show. You can hear them on TSN radios on Thursday nights. We will be joined by them to talk about John Cena's, let me get this right, 14th reign. I think we're on number 14.
Yes, this is where it got confusing, because this is episode 15, but the 14th reign. We had to split up the whole Rock Cena saga for the 13th reign. So we're getting there. We're getting there. This is the World Heavyweight Championship run, the big gold belt, which leads to the unification at TLC, and a very memorable Raw moment where the crowd kind of hijack this raising of the belt ceremony in favor of a Mr. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yes. Who could forget the ceremony of the raising of the belts? Definitely going to have fun talking to our friends Eric and Randy there about some John Cena. You get all these shows plus so many more. $5 a month, patreon.com/Poisonrana. We have so many different podcast series, wasNXT, movie reviews. We're all over the map with it. And $5 to get access to hundreds of different shows. So we have some big stuff planned as well coming up with some big reviews. We did our Rumble 2016 review. There's so much on there. If you haven't checked us out and you want to support us, it's literally $5, patreon.com/Poisonrana. What are you doing? You can even sign up to the free part. And sometimes there's free shows on there. So,
and if you're a world champion patron, a family member, you get to pick what you'd like us to review. We'd like to get through a few of these up yours soon. So send us your picks. I do see Jake in the chat who's picked Beyond the Mat.
Nice.
That will be recording in just a couple of weeks. So if you are a family patron or you want to become a family patron, let us know. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about.
Yes, if you're listening and you already are one, it means you're one of our true diehards. Please, DMs are always open. Let us know. We would like to try to get to some of you. I know some people are like, I just like to support. I can't think of anything. That's totally cool too, but we'd love to get through them if you've been waiting in the queue, essentially. And it's always a good time to pick something. You can pick a wrestling event. You can pick a movie, whatever it is. People have picked episodes of TV shows. We're pretty open there. So the choice is yours, up yours. So all that and more, patreon.com/Poisonrana. We are independent podcasters, and that's how you can support if you like what you're hearing in your earbuds here. Did you get a chance to play your video game thing you got?
I'm like installing it at the moment. So
okay.
I got one of those like retro handheld emulator console
Instagram
things.
Ads work.
Yeah. But it's great. So I just got a couple of new memory cards. So I'm loading some some different software on there. Starting to download the ROMs and games and things. It's really nice though. It's got a nice big screen. It's running good so far, but the games it already came with, I don't really want to play any of them. So I'm downloading a lot as we speak. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I've got a big trip to Asia coming up soon, going to Vietnam. So I'm going to need to kill a lot of hours on that flight. So figured it would be useful for me.
Because I downloaded an emulator and I got Virtual Pro 2. And I'm like obsessed with it now. Like totally. I got the English like translated, some modded one. And I'm trying to learn how to do like modded hacks like AEW No Mercy or like Super Smash Bros. Remix and stuff. So I'm sure we have gamers and listeners out there who play that kind of stuff. But then I've been doing that the last few days and been obsessed playing Virtual Pro 2. And then my girlfriend has a Steam Deck, and I have no idea what that even was. And I was talking to her about other games and stuff that I'd like. And then somehow she downloaded Here Comes the Pain. So I was playing that on the Steam Deck last night. I was like, this is insane. So I buy all these fancy, Nintendo Switch and all this stuff. But in the end, I still just play the old N64.
I was going to say, it's like so many people are with music. You hear people being like, once it hit like the mid 2000s, decided I like enough music. I don't really crave anymore. And I get the feeling that I maybe not like that with music, but I'm certainly like that with video games, where I'm like, I'm happy just playing Pokemon Blue once again.
I told you I was playing Yellow for a while. I might do it again. I did see, because Pokemon turns 30 this year. Nintendo is planning on re-releasing a whole bunch of their old games and stuff like that, updated or whatever. But yeah, like I have a Switch. I know we were talking with John Pollock when we were at his house a few weeks ago in January, and it was the same thing where he's like, all I'm playing is GoldenEye on the Switch. And I'm like, me too. I literally have all these games, and I'm just playing the games I had when I was a kid. Maybe that's just, I don't know, it's like a comfort thing. But I never had Virtual Pro 2. And now I'm like, oh, I understand why this is considered one of the more better ones. So I'm seeing all the videos for 2K26 and all the updates, and the graphics look really good, and Booker T commentary. But then here I am just hitting burning hammers and playing in the Tokyo Dome. So I want you to get that game, because that would be the one, the one wrestling one I would say is awesome to get. But your thing can play N64. What can it go up to, like other ones? Or
yeah, like I was playing it's got like Vice City on the PSP on there.
Okay.
So I was playing that. So like obviously that looked really nice graphics wise. I think Dreamcast it can handle some of DS. I think if you're going like nothing really GameCube and up, but pretty much up to there. But yeah, pretty much where I was obsessed with consoles. So
like N64, there's so many good games, but same with SNES. Like, you have hours of these things. It's crazy with the technology and stuff. Like, think in a few more years, people will be using ROMs and emulators of systems like a PS2 or 3. They already are.
Oh, they exist. Right? Like, just a lot more expensive.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I am like, the 2K26 looks cool and everything, but I'm still like caught up on the old ones.
I mean, I think for us, it's, we don't live with each other anymore, but I enjoy those games for multiplayer, and I'm quite like old school that way. I have zero interest in playing with kids from halfway across the world swearing at me down the headset. That doesn't interest me. I want to play like physically with people in the room, friends of mine, and I think that's when we would play 2K quite a bit, or even occasionally the odd FIFA game or something. But beyond that, I'm not overly interested.
Well, I'm sure we'll eventually try it, because it's out like in March or something, right? The new one. So there's some time. I
don't like, I feel with me though, there's not much point in getting another like 2K game until I've got the PS5, really. Like, it's playing it on PS4. I might as well just stick with the game I've got and update the roster with downloads and things.
Yeah, like I don't even have my PS4 plugged in. I think I put it in storage when I moved. I was like,
right.
I don't use it as much, really. I have the Switch, which I do think I prefer, just because like you could just play pretty quickly and shit like that. But again, I'm playing retro games on these things anyways. So, But yeah, send me, if anyone Virtual Pro 2 people, send me your things. What do I need to know? Hacks and mods. I'm trying to learn all that of the No Mercy and shit, because I understand why people like these old games and they get super into, like, was it Graham was showing us like Pokemon Kart for 64. Like, I want to learn how to do that shit. Like, looks awesome. But anyways, so patreon.com/Poisonrana. That's how we got there in the beginning. Go check us out so we can afford to play more video games. Poisonrana.ca for links of everything else that we do. And we should start talking about some wrestling that took place this week. Last week, we were very WWE heavy. I feel like maybe this week will be a little bit different, with AEW having a really killer week of some content. Now, I know I want to talk about Grand Slam. That's the big kind of hot thing, but I thought Dynamite was awesome.
Oh man, one of the best, I thought, this week. Should we start with that? Just seeing that it's so, kind of chronological order?
Yeah, chronological order here. Like, there was a lot to take in from that episode. I mean, off the bat, you had Swerve and Omega with a face-to-face promoting a match that has never happened. And I mean, spoiler, we're getting it for free next week on TV, which is crazy. You would imagine that something happens and that's set up for the pay-per-view. But I thought this was a great promo off between the two. Basically, Swerve like, oh, you call yourself the god of wrestling. And he's like, I don't call myself that. That's the name people gave me because I'm that fucking good, essentially. I thought that was pretty awesome. I thought they both really promoted a match between the two of them, sort of saying, I came here to fight you, and then you fucked off. Like, what happened?
Yeah, like, and it's not something that's necessarily like crossed my mind before, but it is true. Like, Swerve came in like towards the end or even after Kenny's title reign, and they've just been, obviously Kenny's been out injured for a lot of it, but I got the same sense like with Swerve's promo, and I think this is something he's very good at, even when he's a babyface, is kind of just coming out and calling a shot and challenging someone. And we saw that with Hangman, you know, when he came out and it started that whole feud was, I want your spot. Like, you lost your title, you put on a bit of weight, you're miserable, you're drinking, like, what the fuck? And yet you're still getting these opportunities, and I'm not. I've got to scratch and claw for it. And I got the same sort of sense of that with Swerve here and Kenny. Like, you're calling yourself the god, yet you've never faced me. And I think it's a great feud that I hadn't really even considered as a potential matchup. And I think that will fill up Revolution really nicely. I could see, some... I could see, knowing what these two are like, maybe doing a bit more of a street fight or something at Revolution, perhaps, and have this one more of a traditional match. But really, you know, that spot we had, like falling off the stage and all that this week, it's leading you to think that maybe we'll get something a bit more violent than a one-on-one.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine. Like, think of Swerve and Hangman in some of those death matches. Like, these two would definitely be the same. Kenny has just been looking like top tier again. And I thought, yeah, they really sold me on this. And I'm almost baffled to hear them say it's on TV next week. Like, okay, I will definitely be watching because I really want to see it. But on top of that, like, I do see that being rematched at Revolution 100%. That's just such a big match. I mean, this could be an all-in main event for like in another, you know, timeline, because like this is a big one. I'm really looking forward to this. So I like the segment between the two of them. I like to pull apart the attacks and all that stuff. Where there's a V trigger into like the stage and they fell off the stage and everything. So clearly going to get hardcore down the line. It's probably like a no contest and then gets even more crazy at the pay-per-view. We had a 6-man Death Riders thing that was like more set up for Moxley and Takeshita, which is to come at Grand Slam. So that was good, like hyping up these two, both kind of in heel stables, but they're the baby face.
Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it, right now, with Moxley especially. But yeah, I think, but I don't necessarily mind the shades of grey all the time. It depends. You can't do it with every character, but I think Mox and Takeshita to an extent are people that can pull it off, you know, that. And I wonder if they're, I wonder if they're kind of playing around with Moxley, not fully committing to him being a babyface because of Will Ospreay's return, because it was the Death Riders that took out Will Ospreay after that cage match, which I was kind of weird. Like, we all knew he was going to have surgery anyway. And when you do an angle like that and you don't have a time frame of how long it's going to be, you do risk kind of the situation they're in now, where Ospreay either comes back and completely forgets that these guys laid him out, or he comes back as a massive babyface, taking on somewhat of a massive babyface in Jon Moxley. So it's a little weird, and I don't necessarily agree with them doing that kind of thing. We saw how that worked with Adam Cole and MJF. Like, Adam Cole returned, but if we remember when he left, he was the heel and MJF was the babyface, and we just had to kind of accept that they're going to this match, but the roles are reversed, and it was a little odd. So I wonder if they're reluctant to, pull the trigger on Death Riders kicking out Mox until we see what is necessarily happening around with Will Ospreay.
That's fair, because you could easily, like, let's say, now we don't have a time frame as of right now, but let's say he comes back with like plenty of time before All In, then you could easily do the Moxley Ospreay one-on-one, and then when he beats Moxley could kind of, in some way be like, hey, sorry about that, or like, oh, I don't know, like something to maybe babyface him even more, and then finally they kick him out or whatever. But I guess you would. I also don't mind him just coming back and not necessarily
addressing it.
Him.
Yeah,
but
that's what I prefer. But it was strange they did that angle, and I remember thinking that at the time, like, because it was pretty public knowledge that Ospreay was, that cage match was. Do you remember everyone in that cage match was banged up? You had like Kenny with no intestine, you had Tanahashi with no knees.
Tana was the safest one in that match.
Yeah, it was like everyone was completely banged up, and we knew Ospreay was going to be leaving for a bit for this surgery. So I just found it weird, especially in London. You had him with the big win. He's like celebrating, and then they did the angle. I found it strange then, and especially with something like a neck injury where it could be like years. I mean, it obviously we're getting the return vignettes. We know, thankfully, it's not going to be that long. But it's a long time to just put a feud on ice. So I found it strange they did that.
Like, those guys beat up everyone anyways, but like they took him out of action, whether it's, kayfabe or not. Like, obviously, okay, we know he actually was hurt, but yeah, you could go that way. But I just feel like Moxley's the babyface and all the other guys are just the bad guys, but he's cool, I guess. I don't know. But we had then one hell of a match. Tomasso Ciampa taking on Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. Did you see some of the comments Ciampa made that he wanted to go out there like his old TakeOver days?
Yeah.
And boy, did he go out there and wrestle like an old TakeOver, didn't he? Wow. Man. This match was awesome. Crazy.
Absolutely loved it. I like Fletcher. Someone in the chat there is saying a real candidate for Wrestler of the Year so far. I agree. But Ciampa just showing like it's, and obviously it's, and I hate to like go into all the bad faith people every week, but it's, when he got signed and it's, he's too old and that, it's, age is a number. Like, if you mentioned earlier Kurt Angle like not getting that contract, right? With AEW. Yeah, because Kurt Angle had no knees, no neck, no back. Like, he couldn't work anymore. Yes, Ciampa maybe on the, and I don't actually think he's as old as he looks. I think he's around 40, 41, I believe. But when you wrestle like that, who cares how old you are? Like, he wrestled so well. I personally didn't have the problem with this short title reign either. I think it established him really quickly as this is a serious guy. This isn't someone coming in who's gonna, just be on Collision or whatever. He's a serious guy. And the flip-flopping allowed us to get to this ladder match we're going to talk about later. But I have faith that after a performance like that, he's going to be featured pretty prominently. And I'm sure there's a bucket list of people he wants to face in AEW as well. But This is one of my matches of the year so far. I thought this was awesome.
Absolutely. Like, okay, TV match is something that I think is important, and instantly the TV match of the year, like right now in 2020, like this was incredible. This reminded me of why we love this guy like all these years ago. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but like this guy's been missing for years. Like this guy's been MIA, and clearly he felt that way because he came out wrestling like he had a chip on his shoulder the last few weeks with the Briscoe match and then this match. Like, okay, Fletcher, this is another walk in the park for him because he's having these kinds of matches week by week. However, this was a little bit of a dream match of like, oh wait, if you've been watching Fletcher, you could see how like good he's gotten and how like, I don't know, vicious like he can get. And then Ciampa, if you've watched all those years ago, you can remember how deadly he can kind of be and how good of a wrestler he can be. And it was a bit of a like match made in heaven here of these two. And I just think like this guy was sitting in catering, sitting in this tag team. Okay, he's had his WrestleMania matches, he's got his time in WWE, but you said, okay, maybe he's not that old, but he's old enough to be like, how long can I do this for? And how much do I love it? And if I got the love for the game, I want to wrestle. And like first week out, he's putting on these kinds of quality matches. It's like, damn, man, you've had those handcuffs on for years and you made the right choice. Like
absolutely.
100%. The best he's looked in years.
We were talking about, you know, what are the options when he was leaving WWE and saying like, really, it's knowing, you know, we've seen the documentaries, how much of a family man this guy is. This was the only real option. He wasn't going to go to TNA. And I think it works great for him. He's can spend a lot of time with his family with this contract but still come out and just do bangers every week like this. I thought this was such a great match. And Fletcher, you know, he had a lot last year that we loved, like that match with Speedball on TV and things. Like he is incredible. It's going to be a big year for him, I think. He's
kind of AEW's ace up the sleeve a little bit in the last year, like including already going into this year. Like, you know, okay, you got your Moxleys and your Kennys, Hangmans, the people who have maybe been on top there for a little while, or like names in this company, but you see this guy on the show that you're going to, like, you're gonna have something special. Like every time this guy wrestles, it's a spectacle almost. Like he's just so good at this, making it look like a real fight for sure. And I thought him and Ciampa was awesome. Definitely going to be something we need to run back one day. But I don't think this was like, I saw people online being like, oh, look, they're already dogging Ciampa. They're already like, it's like, no, that's
not every title reign needs to be months and months and months. And I think doing a quick title change sometimes just kind of reprograms you. So you're not going into matches because it's the worst thing, right? Like we know we're getting Finn Balor and CM Punk at Elimination Chamber, which could be a great match. But the problem is we're going, there ain't no way Finn Balor's winning that.
Yeah.
And I think when you do these like quick title changes, it helps put that seed of doubt in your mind with other titles. And yeah, I thought I don't think it's hurt Ciampa losing it this quick.
No, he's gonna be great. Like even if he's booked on this show to lose to people, that's okay because he just putting on great performances so far. He's had 2 matches, and I'm already like, wow, I missed you. I missed watching you. It reminded me of a takeover match that he would be, used to do. And then he even says, like, I went into that thinking this is like a takeover moment for me. And I was like, yeah, as you should. So Johnny, the grass, it could be greener on the other side. Johnny Gargano. Just
it would be. I can't, and I feel bad saying this because we've been such big Johnny Gargano fans, but man, it is depressing watching him on SmackDown right now.
No, that's his literal storyline is he's depressed. Yeah.
He's depressed and it's depressing. Just the state of this character. But and we've made this joke before, but I almost feel for Ciampa, like you don't want Johnny Gargano going there, like for his sake.
Leave me alone.
It's like, can you give me a year at least? Can I get this out my system and then we can do the DIY thing? But like, like that's the thing. If Johnny Gargano's coming in, Tony Khan will be way too tempted to put those two together, and the tag division could do with it. But I'm enjoying this little honeymoon period we've got of the Psycho Killer right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's refreshing. Again, only like a few weeks in, but can't wait to see what else he can do in AEW. Like it definitely helped. It added some fire to Fletcher. I mean, winning this match, but then also like you just beat someone that gave you a fight in that match. That was real good stuff. We had Private Party return. Oh my God, is that Private Party? They're back. There was rumors that they might leave AEW, NXT or TNA, but here they are. The party is still private in AEW.
Yeah, this was kind of a bit weird for me. It didn't necessarily hit because I don't know. You tease this mystery team, and I think people are looking at when are Cope and Christian coming back. Like we assume. I know they're both winding down, but you got to have the rematch against FTR, right? Like they set up that angle with Beth, and you got to have the match against the Young Bucks. That's it. Like they can come back and do 2 matches and go. So I think, or at least I was suspecting maybe this is going to be them. But Private Party, yes, AEW Originals, but it's been weird. Like Tony Khan does this thing where if he sniffs that you might be looking to jump ship, he puts you on ice. We saw it with Ricky Starks. We've seen it with Ray Phoenix and the likes. And it feels like when they lost the titles to the Hurt Syndicate that they were put on ice because we were talking about, are they going to be going to the PC or whatever? So that hasn't happened. So they've re-signed with AEW, I assume. It's like 13 months they've been off, which is just crazy. And that's not injuries or anything. That's just not being used. And then they come back and there's zero change to their presentation at all, which I was a little disappointed with.
Like they were someone, okay, on one of the early Dynamites, they beat the Bucks. Was it the first Dynamite? They beat the Bucks, right? And then it took how many years? 5 years, 4 years till they finally beat the Bucks again and won the belts. Yeah. And then they lost the belts pretty quickly, got ragdolled, and then we haven't seen them since. And then they came back, and then they lose in this match. Now, this match was crazy because it was the Bucks. Who was in this? The Bucks, the Rascals.
Bucks, the Rascals, and Private Party.
Yeah, it was nuts. There was all these crazy spots in this, and it was like one of those old school chaotic tag matches for sure. And
they were right by Reseda as well, where they were, right? Yeah. So it felt like that.
PWG for sure. I like that they're back, but they definitely haven't evolved ever really since the beginning. It's like their shirts are like, it ain't no party like a private party, and it's like they're just still doing the same thing with the shots and everything. It's like, okay, well, what else can you do essentially? So
maybe they will. Maybe it's week one. It's like just do the like almost nostalgia pop for this one, and then see if they can evolve. But I don't know. I was slightly underwhelmed, but the match was fantastic. Don't get me wrong there. Like I thought was such an awesome match with all.
And we get FTR versus the Bucks at Revolution.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
You know, as much as I'm sure people will say, "Oh, look, they're doing this match again." I'm pretty sure this would be the 5th or the 6th. Like that. So, I'd like it again. Right now, it's flipped again. Like they've done the matches where they've been baby faces and heels, so it's kind of the other way around again.
I mean, they're career rivals, right? Like it's kind of like your Sammy and Kevin kind of thing. You can revisit it every 18 months or whatever. We'll see. I found like their matches haven't hit as you feel they should in the past. They've had good matches. I can't think of one that's like blow away. Maybe the first one just because of the like how fresh it felt, but I think that was still during pandemic era and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see how it is with this. But really it's time that like, this tag division hasn't been great. And really, you should have the 2 best teams going for the title. So it makes sense that way.
Absolutely. Like as much as you could have put Private Party in there, you could do the Rascals, but really the Bucks are babyface again. You want to ride that wave of they're still working right now. There's a time when they won't be. So I would not be mad if I had tickets to Revolution and they announced Bucks. Like I feel like that's their break glass of in case of emergency. Like, what should we do with the tag? Fuck it. Bucks and FTR again. And like, okay, none of them have been maybe like the all-time classic, if you will, but they've been still all very solid.
Oh, of
like
course.
They've still been all very good.
And I think that's the thing. It's like, you know, we know what the Bucks standard is and we know what FTR's standard is. So you're expecting no less than like a 5-star match when you see these two put in a match together. And it's not necessarily got there. Still really good matches, but we'll see how it is this time around.
You know, actually, now that I said it, like the Bucks being babyface, wearing the old school gear and the tassels and everything, maybe this will be the better, like having them
better
be
version of it.
Yeah, like being them in the old school. You said like the receipt, like PWG Bucks versus like the heels FTR. Like maybe this gives the opportunity to deliver said classic. So I'm in.
Could you see Cope and Christian returning at Revolution after this match?
I think so. I imagine they fight FTR one more time, right? Like whether that's all in, you could do a 3-way, Bucks, Edge and Christian and FTR, right?
TLC.
Like TLC, like fuck, that'd be fucking nuts. So book it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, okay, nothing's been announced. We have Dynasty in Vancouver. Having Christian and Edge wrestle on that show would be a pretty big deal. Obviously, it's the other end of the country, but still, Canada, we represent. But I would imagine Toronto gets another show before the end of the year. So, like, Edge and Christian, whether they retire together or something like that, like, there's something going to happen with that down the line. I know, like, we had it this year, but then they did the angle where it just sets up a rematch. So, something's got to give with that. But, yeah, Bucks FTR, I'm actually kind of stoked about to see on Revolution. It's gonna be a solid one. And then Dynamite main event, the Strap Daddy versus this Toxic Spider. I don't think we can call her the Strap Daddy anymore. She lost the strap match and the strap in one sitting. Your girl, Thekla.
Yeah, I think this was the right decision. I think Tekla's been great since she's come in, and I think she's got so much personality and has been fantastic in ring as well. This stat run hasn't worked for whatever reason. And that's not to say the matches have been bad. She's had good matches, but there's been just a bit of a lack of connection. And I feel there's been times in the past where Statlander's been hotter, where you could have gone with her, where she did have that connection. It just felt a little forced, this title run. And I don't think promo-wise she's necessarily connected. I actually already think since losing the title, like she's maybe connected a bit more. You know, like there was I can't remember who the interview was, but she was quite open about kind of acknowledging that she hasn't really felt that connection throughout this and has been struggling with that. And maybe this loss will actually be better for her because that's a bit of a story you can tell. I thought the match was great. I thought they killed each other, and right move for Thekla. I didn't particularly like how, I didn't like the beatdown at the end of the match with the brawling birds running out. It already felt like Tekla's win was an afterthought.
Yeah,
I thought Dynamite should have just ended with Thekla standing tall with the title and really establishing that. Instead, we end with, Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor, who've both been missing for ages, it seems, just running out for a save. And you've already forgotten that Stats dropped the title, and you've already forgotten that Tekla's won it. I found that a little odd, but the match itself I thought was great.
I also thought it was funny because you had what are they called? The sisters, the sister triangle, the witches. What are they?
The Sisterhood
of the Traveling Pants.
Triangle Girls.
This is sorority sisters. No.
Yeah.
Fuck, what are they called?
The Sisters of Sin. There we go.
Sisters of Sin. No, but that's just when it's the two of them. What's the three of them called?
The Death Triangle. No, that's Pac. The Triangle of Madness.
Triangle of Madness. You could be making that up, for all I know.
I could be. I think I'm right. I think I'm right.
Like the whole match, they're like interfering, right? Like they're ringside, and then Statlander loses, and that's when the Brawling Birds are like, "Oh, you know what? We should help her." It's like, no, maybe you should have helped her when the title was on the
during the
line.
match.
Yeah, I thought that was a little backwards. I think, I love Statlander. I kind of agree though. Like she hasn't connected with this. They really tried. She's a really good wrestler. I don't know what it needs to be. Maybe the heel run, but a bit more serious. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. Like I could see her eventually getting a title again, but Thekla has been someone who's got like the presence. You know what I mean? Like, she just looks like, okay, now we have met her. Listen to our our shows from last summer on the Patreon. She was pretty sweet in real life, but still gives you that feeling of like her character is her turned up to like 20 on a scale, because she scares me.
Yeah.
As a character on TV, and that's really good. And I actually think it was the right decision to have her as champion. I really, really like the presentation of her right now. So going forward, like that decision. Thought the match was great. I like Brian mentioning that it's the same strap.
It's got his blood on it still.
He's like, it still has my blood on this. It's like, that. Don't say that.
Against
that's
unnamed wrestler.
Yeah, Ricky Starks, Saints. Yeah. I thought that was great, and I really like Thekla winning this because I think she's been killing it. So
absolutely
good stuff. But we'll see what happens with Statlander. But then that takes us to Grand Slam, Sydney, Australia. Oh yeah, going down under. They also did a house show today, I believe, in Brisbane.
House Rules.
House Rules, or was it maybe Sydney as well? But Sydney, Australia, getting first shot, glimpse at an AEW show. And it looked busy. It looked crowded. People were excited to be there, taking it all in. And we had someone with a post-wrestling sign. Did you see
front and center? Yeah. Fantastic.
Cool. Awesome. Whoever made that that was pretty cool. We had an opening matchup, a match I was definitely looking forward to, a rematch from that Continental Classic. What title is this? Fuck, I'm not even saying that as a joke.
You just said it. The Continental.
Continental, right. Continental title. John Moxley taking on Takeshita. This was great. These two were killing each other here. Just two wrestlers that I genuinely think are at the top of the game. And they were going band for band. There was the Seth Rollins stomp a few times from Moxley. There was a Kota Ibushi-esque last ride from his son Takeshita. There was like a nasty Death Rider where he just dropped him on his head. I totally bit that it was over, and Takeshita kicked out of that. The match was solid, and then it got to the ring announcer saying 5 minutes left, and the crowd was like, wait, we got the 20-minute limit? And then you had the announcer say 1 minute left, and the vibe just changed. This place started becoming electric, and when the 1 minute call, Takeshita and Moxley just started killing each other.
Yeah,
you had the kickouts on one, and then the time runs out. I don't know. This last like 2-3 minutes here got me so hyped. Like, this was great. It almost reminded me of why we love watching this shit. Loved it so much. Please do the rematch at Revolution.
Yeah, I thought this was fantastic. I think they both have incredible chemistry. John Moxley, like it's so crazy, like how, he was my wrestler of the year last year and is continuing to just put on fantastic matches. And I think I at least what I do like about the Continental Classic is the Continental Championship is different from the other belts. It's a bit more clearly defined what it is with these continental rules, 20 minutes, no outside interference. And it's kind of like how the G1s used to be, where it guarantees you a bit of a banger in this match. Like, no bullshit, just straight up wrestling. And these two absolutely killed it. I do have my own little theory I do think we're going to get the rematch, and I do think Takeshita's going to win this thing because I think you'll be having, and maybe it's like an annual all-in thing. I think we're going to have the unification match of all 3 titles with the 3 leaders of the Don Callis family. So you'll have Okada, Fletcher, and Takeshita, all with these secondary titles, looking to unify them at all in.
So a 3-way match?
Yeah.
Jesus. That's like I was hoping for a Takeshita Fletcher or a Takeshita Okada or Okada Fletcher.
We can get all of them, but I think just the story they've been telling, it started off with Takeshita and Okada, but Fletcher just seems equally as positioned there. You know, you're getting those things with Fletcher accepting Okada's apology and Takeshita being upset about that. You had the on Grand Slam, it's like, oh, we're pro Okada again and all that sort of thing. And I saw a lot of people, like one of the criticisms of Fletcher winning this TNT championship were people going, man, he's better than this. Why is he still in this like mid-card title? He should be elevated. He should be in the main event. And I actually think him being TNT champion is to do that. And I just think this all seems to be building towards a 3-way. Yeah, we want to see the singles matches as well. Absolutely. But maybe it's something you do peak at all in or something and have it, you know, the all in is the unification like tradition of these things. Maybe.
Like, okay, that match sounds crazy. Now I think the singles versions of those, like any iteration of those 3 sound great.
Incredible. Yeah,
they sound awesome. Like I cannot wait to see any of those matches this year, but 3-way sounds great. I see what you're saying with like, why wouldn't you have the 3 of them? They're still sprinkling kayfabe wise. You know, I love my boy Taka, but what wouldn't you leave this group by now? Like they literally turned on you and you kind of just like no selling it.
I think as well from Takeshita's point of view, and they haven't necessarily told this story, but he was the first member of the Don Callis family. And think also, if you add to kind of the whole thing, the language barrier coming over from Japan, and Don Callis was the one who took him under his wing, took him to NBA games and Cinnabon and all that.
He took him. Before you knew me, you were only going to Cinnabon, and now now you're a star essentially. I don't know. I'm sold.
So I think there's that loyalty thing that you could maybe play with why he hasn't left already.
Right. I want to see the rematch with Moxley. I'm pretty sure after the match, when the crowd was just booing, and you had Moxley tell the ref something, and then the ref goes over and tells Takeshita, and then Takeshita gets up, and him and Moxley get in each other's face, and then he ends up hitting the raging fire on Moxley. So it's like, oh, like he got the heat back, I guess, brothers. So I imagine Revolution is the rematch of this. Like, and I'm totally okay with that because, again, the last few minutes I was like, oh my god, this is really hype. Like, I can't wait to see I think Takeshita should beat him.
I agree.
Yeah. So either
and then that can open Mox up for either Osprey or the being booted out of the Death Riders or whatever you want to do with that.
Like, what if Moxley gets kicked out? And then Osprey comes back like, oh, hey, I know it was you, but like, really, it was your boys, and I got the beef with them or something. I don't know. But
yeah,
love this match, and again, the last few minutes the stretch was incredible. We had a women's tag team title match. The what do they call themselves? Mega Bad.
Yes.
I realized I was like, why is Penelope Ford calling herself Bad? Is it Bad Boy Joey? Oh no, Super Bad. Kip Sabian, right? Of course, she just loves bad. She loves the bad boys, I guess. We got Mega Bad, which I guess is a funny name, versus the Babes of Wrath. And one gripe is like later in the night, they're gonna be like from Sydney, Australia, Kyle Fletcher. Here they just went tag team champs, Harley and It's like, oh, okay, you could have maybe hype that up a little bit considering she's from Australia, but Anyways, this was a fun match as well. There was a few spots that were a little hairy. There's like Harley was like walking around at one point. I kind of don't even blame her. I kind of just blame the camera work. For some reason, they decided on a close-up when she was doing the worst, like getting ready for the next spot situation. So unfortunately, it just looked like she was dancing and like standing groggy. But again, I would kind of blame the shot, like tightened in on her. But having Harley get the backslide and retaining the titles here in Australia was a good look. And then Penelope Ford somehow got another Amazon woman to join her because this tall lady shows up and beats up the tag champions and stands tall with Megan Bayne and Penelope. So Lena Cross. Okay. I'm assuming she's from Australia because the way they were hyping her up, but I could be wrong.
Yes, they did say independent scene in Australia. I believe.
She looked very tall considering she was in the ring with Megan Bayne and like was maybe even taller than her. But yeah, she got booed. So I don't know if people necessarily knew who she was, but it's also they attacked Harley and why do I keep blanking on who the champion? Willow, of course. This wasn't my favorite match, maybe my weak point of the show, but it still was like fine. But
yeah, I think sometimes they some of these run-ins they do in AEW. It doesn't always work with the surprise thing because unless it's a big name, you're left a bit, I don't know, who is this? Sorry, what's happening?
Yeah.
Rather than maybe a Lena Cross would be better built up in vignettes and stuff like that to build up who this character was. More closer to what they did with Thekla, right? They had this like little story of Thekla coming in. I just always think back to the Satnam Singh debut or Butcher and Blade debut, where they were like these big like lights off, lights on, and then you go, who? Not that they did the lights off and on thing, but I did get a sense from this crowd. It was a little bit of who?
Yeah, even if you didn't know, like you're like, oh, sorry, we can't tell who that is. And they're telling you on commentary, like, oh, it's this person. It's like, okay, I'm sure they're great, but literally have no idea who they are. But I guess we shall see what they're made of because they are all elite now. So we shall see. Went to the next match. It is a #1 contendership. The winner faces MJF at Revolution. Hangman Page versus Andrade El Idolo. Hangman and Andrade, first time fighting here. So this is a bit of a little dream match for some, I'm sure, but it was cool, you know, seeing their styles kind of blend well with a lot of counters for counters, and both these guys pretty on top of their game. A funny spot, Andrade's been doing the whole romantic character.
Yeah,
the girls love him and everything, so he goes ringside, starts taking photos with this girl ringside and getting kisses on the cheek, and then Hangman goes and gets the phone and then takes photos with the influencer, and she goes to give him a kiss, and Hangman's like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm married, sorry. Just Hangman will take photos with anyone, won't he? He just should take photos with just anyone, shouldn't you, Hangman?
I do find it fun. I saw like a little bit online of people just going like criticizing this and being like, oh, it's clearly a plant. And I'm just like, yeah, this is wrestling. It ain't real. Like, yeah, a lot of it is plants. Like, it's a funny bit in the match. Get over it.
It's a plant. Yeah. When Jelly Roll or whoever in the front row on Raw is
no shit. There just happens to be on all these AEW shows a beautiful woman stood front row in these Andrade matches just every week. Just coincidence how that happened.
What was the one on last week? It was like this like OnlyFans model, and then the story she posted of the match was like, this shit's fake as fuck
really?
or something.
I didn't see that, right?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure people were quick to be like, yeah, but so are you. Yeah. I love the gimmick of Andrade having who's the video? Oh my God, what was the one I saw? Now, okay, the gimmick here, Don Callis was pretty funny, being like, oh, like we we have the hotel far away from the venue because the women start to chase after Andrade. So like I have to book him like far away because we have to like avoid all the ladies and stuff. But did you see who's this wrestler? Is it Sabernero? Fuck, who is it? He posted a video for Valentine's Day the other day. Soberano Jr. He held a Valentine's Day event where he got all these women to show up, and it's all these women giving him roses and stuff. I was like, that's a true like that's a true man right there. He's like, hey, if you're hot, come out to my Valentine's Day event. So he shows up and it's just all these women there for him. So
now I will say you mentioned about, you know, Takeshita being essentially a babyface in a heel stable.
Yeah.
Andrade is someone who I think will doesn't really need to change a thing about him, but I think he's getting over as a babyface right now. And this spot itself is a bit of a babyface spot, right?
He's become the cool heel, unfortunately.
And I don't know if him staying with Don Callis family too long, or do we, like, the Don Callis family is so huge, do we end up just getting like Don Callis Wolfpack? You know, like it's just a bit of a split where it's all these people just happen to be represented by Don Callis, but you can play with it. Have your heel Don Callis and your babyface Don Callis, maybe. But I think Andrade, it really feels like him as a performer. You say as Ciampa just wanting to wrestle, but he's like, man, I've wasted my last 5 years of me at my prime of doing good shit. And he seems to be enjoying himself a lot more this time round. And I think, you know, leaving the first time with AEW on good terms, you know, they gave him some big wins in that Continental Classic, knowing he was on the way out. I think it's gained maybe a lot of respect for Tony Khan from him, and he's like trusting it this time. And they're putting him right in the main event mix early, and I think he belongs there. And I think you could have him potentially as a babyface challenging an MJF or someone down the line.
I think he's wrestling like at a whole other level right now. Like the past few weeks since he's come back, like I'm really enjoying the like Hangman, Kenny, Swerve, MJF, Andrade. Like look at these top guys.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like the fact that we lost the title flip to Joe, then to MJF. Like I don't know if MJF's going to hold it all the way till All In. I wouldn't mind it flipping around. It's a bit of like, hey, look at these like 6+ top contenders here. A bit like, you know, hot time of WWF when you like Austin, Rock, Triple H, Kurt, like all the, like, there's so many different ways you could go and so many different things. And I don't know what it is with Andrade, but this last few weeks, it's something's clicked and switched on of like, oh wait, no, I want to show why I am good at this and maybe one of the best. I love this match too. So Hangman, like him and Andrade really went at it here. There's like that awesome inverted Spanish fly. Like this was great. There
was a point I loved, and I don't know if it was like a slip up on a call on the fly or a planned spot, but when Andrade did his tornillo, he landed slightly short, and Hangman then caught him and went straight into the fall-away slam into the barricade. Now, I don't know if that was originally planned or not, but it worked so well because I was like, oh, he's got a bit short there, and then it went right into it. I thought that was great. And I like in wrestling when a babyface cheats because they were going to get cheated.
Yeah.
You know, catching the kick to the balls and then doing it himself. It's fair game. You try to kick me in the balls, I'm going to kick you in the balls. I think that makes a babyface seem cooler to me than, you know, holding a title belt and crying because I don't know if I have it in me to cheat and use this belt against this man. Like I like the finish to this match.
Yeah, because we've seen Don Callis does that all the time, where he gets up on the apron, distracts, and then the guy kicks him low. So Hangman had it scouted like a smart baby face.
Yeah.
And kicked him in the nuts and hit the buckshot and won it. So Hangman beats Andrade. Fun match here. I think Andrade stays strong. He'll have a program, I'm sure, going into that pay-per-view. But Hangman versus MJF.
Yeah, who could you see Andrade tied up with on the pay-per-view? We've got about a month, haven't we, till Revolution? We've still got a little bit of time.
Like, okay, Fletcher, he's tied up. He's in the family, and he's the champion. Takeshita's probably going for that belt. I don't know if there's another belt Andrade could go for. Andrade, Mark Briscoe.
Okay, yeah.
So, I don't know if that's a pay-per-view match, but like that's something you could book down the line. But either way, I'm sure he'll be fine. I would imagine he is on that pay-per-view because he's pretty good right now. But we have our main event, Hangman MJF. It is a rematch, but I felt like we needed this one more time anyways. Like I felt like the last time maybe rubbed people the wrong way. Like, am I wrong? There was
the Hangman MJF.
I remember there's like the weird finish and people were like kind of like, oh, that sucked. But like the match was good, and then the finish like ruined it kind of.
Yeah, what was the finish? That was a kick in the balls or something, wasn't it?
Probably.
I can't remember.
Probably, but yeah. But that's our main event. We had a tag match, hair versus hair.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knew Wheeler Yuta was going to cut his hair. No one thought Toni Storm was cutting her hair in this match.
You know, I thought of the four of them, Orange Cassidy was the least likely to cut his hair.
True.
Because I think Toni is mad enough that you could see. She's always thinking of ways to evolve her character and stuff like that, that I could maybe see it. And I think Marina just being the badass of the Death Riders, you could potentially see it as well. Obviously Yuta is the obvious choice, but the other two I was like, maybe. Orange Cassidy was the only one I'm like, he ain't going bald. That ain't happening.
I love the pile driver to Tony on like the cases.
Yeah,
that was pretty crazy. You had Marina Shafir going crazy and doing evil shit like she always does. And then one of my favorite chants I have ever heard on a wrestling show, so much that I texted my Aussie buddy who's not even a wrestling fan, because this Sydney crowd chanted, "You're a shit cunt."
I think it was Yuta. I think Yuta's the shit cunt.
Oh my God. So fucking good. Hilarious. Like, no, they chant that at like what, like rugby, cricket, and footy and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Shit cunt is sorry if I'm offending. Any Aussie I know uses that phrase like in multiple uses.
I think it's kind of like where you have the word bollocks. So like bollocks can mean shit, or like, but if it's the dog's bollocks, it's good.
Yeah.
And I think like cunt is often kind of used as mate, but if you're a shit cunt, you're a cunt. You know,
I love this crowd. I love Sydney, and like it's funny seeing them all yelled at. I thought that was just, I started laughing. I was like, there's no way they're saying that. And I rewound. I was like, that's fucking great. So good on you, Sydney crowd here. But yes, Wheeler Yuta, he got his head shaved. It felt like the whole roster came out here and shaved his whole head. You had all that was missing was Bobby Lashley and Donald Trump out here to shave this guy's hair off.
I always think of the what was it? It was on Dark Side. Sinister Minister shaving. Whose head was it?
Raven,
yeah, and just using the clippers wrong and just like cutting into his scalp
bleeding. Yeah. Oh,
Yuta's gonna look way better with a shaved head, I think.
Yeah, he's in his Danielson run now.
Yeah.
He turned babyface now.
For him.
Now that he shaved his hair, he'll turn babyface again. So,
I thought this was really fun, and I liked the men and women mixing it up here. I thought it was some really cool spots between all of them.
Apparently, on the house show, there was another mixed tag, and Moxley and Toni Storm have finally fought.
Okay, amazing.
Which sounds, I'm sure they taped it, right? So Moxley, Toni Storm fighting. That's a dream match.
Awesome.
Right? Book that in a hardcore Hollywood ending. Moxley and Toni Storm would see who can die in the match first. That would be pretty good. We had the ladder match. Speaking of people who have a death wish, Kyle Fletcher, in the same week, he won back the TNT title. He wanted the homecoming in Sydney, Australia, and he got it because he beat Ciampa for the belt, and yet he has to face Briscoe again. Is this number 8 in the feud?
Seven.
Best of seven. Best of 7, of course. How could I forget? This time it's a ladder match. Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher, the hometown hero here, even though he's kind of a bad guy. But this was pretty crazy with all the different insane ladder spots. These guys were killing each other when it didn't involve ladders, but now You got like moonsaults off ladders. You got a spot where he lawn darts Briscoe into a ladder, which instantly busted him open. There was blood all over the place. I know you liked the side Russian leg sweep off the ladder. That looked really dangerous spot there. Don Callis. Now, this was like a TV special, right? So we're watching on Triller AEW Plus and all that. So we get the picture like full through. It never cuts to break, but we always talk about how picture-in-picture commentary is the best, right? Don Callis had me rolling during picture-in-picture. He's complaining about Rick Knox, who the referee is. This is a ladder match. The ref really just has to sit there and watch the match. That's their job.
Yeah.
And Don Callis is like, oh, Rick Knox. I'm surprised they even let him travel this far into this. I'm surprised they let Rick Knox into this country. If we don't like Rick Knox, bless him, but maybe one of the worst refs. So I thought that was him picking on him was, I don't even know if that's babyface or heel work, but I really liked it. When we came back, there was this crazy power bomb through a ladder. Mark Briscoe is biting him on the forehead and says, it tastes like shrimp on a Barbie. And Don, again, making me laugh, goes, that's kind of culturally insensitive to make those kinds of jokes. There was a J driller through a ladder. And I'm seeing on social media today, this was right in front of Kyle Fletcher's mom. Who's sitting ringside watching her son get driven through a ladder right in front of her. Hilarious. But the brainbuster spot, like, insanity. One of the craziest ladder bumps. Not even a superplex off a ladder, doing like the drop brainbuster from the top of the ladder. That you're a madman. I don't know who's crazier, doing it or taking it here in this, which allowed Briscoe to get crushed as I think he got backdropped finally at the end, but Kyle Fletcher retaining the TNT title and revealing the pink strap for the title now going forward. But yeah, this was crazy.
Yeah, this was great. I think all of their matches have been great, and I like that they gave a bit of a break between 6 and this one. You know, now it's they kind of had to do number 7 at some point, but they've been tied together for so long. Right decision, Fletcher going over. I almost felt, and I don't know if we'll get something on Dynamite, I almost felt the Mark Briscoe character should have like shown him respect at the end of the match. Like it, you know, finally to really put a close on this chapter between these two. It's like, fair enough, you've won it. You're the guy.
You beat me.
And
right.
maybe he'll say, give him some props on Wednesday. But I thought that could have been nice at the end of the match. But yeah, great stuff. Like this show, like this week of AEW was incredible. And to think that we still had a main event to go after this was pretty awesome.
I mean, yeah, Fletcher having not only this match, which was crazy, but the Ciampa match on Wednesday. I think I preferred the Ciampa match to this, but I still really like this match. Like the show was really fun, and the crowd really make it. Where do you go with Fletcher at Revolution?
Do you do a Ciampa rematch? Is that a possibility?
True.
Who else is there? Like, didn't Kevin Knight and Speedball say that they're looking for singles gold as well?
True.
Because they were like hangman's off for it. I could see a Kevin Knight Fletcher match potentially.
Well, he beat him, right?
Speedball beat him, right? So like
Speedball.
Yeah, so maybe you could go to that.
What about a 4-way? Ciampa, Fletcher, Speedball, Knight.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Right?
Why not?
Like that could be pretty crazy, but I kind of like okay, the stuff with Okada, Takeshita, and Fletcher. Like, there's got to be a boiling point this year. Whether you saying a triple threat at All In, like, would totally be okay with that. But I want Takeshita Fletcher 1-on-1 almost as bad as I want another, if not more, actually, than Okada Takeshita 1-on-1 one more time. Like, I felt like we got it, but we need it one more time, if that makes sense. And I don't know if it's going to be in Tokyo Dome or if that's going to be in an AEW, but Fletcher, man, what a week, what a year. This guy's it's only February, but he's going to be wrestler of the year. That's, I feel like this year is going to be balls to the wall. This kid is awesome. So good to see. I also saw that he showed up at one of the independents this weekend as well in Australia. So
Fletcher.
Yeah, so cool to see that too. Then we had the main event, which was MJF versus Brody King for the AEW Championship. AEW getting a lot of attention from a few weeks ago with the "fuck ice" chants from the crowd, which so much CNN has talked about it. Like all these reports and news sites have been talking about that pigs are flying because wrestling fans are using their brains.
Yeah. Oh, we're so woke.
Wrestling was the world is gone mad because wrestling fans are like woke. What's happened? What people cannot fathom that wrestling fans are thinking for themselves at one point. I thought that was pretty funny. I think there was some "fuck ice" chants.
There were at the beginning. Yeah.
Australians, they hate ice. Obviously. MJF doing promo for this in Australia. He said, don't know why we had to come here. You guys all talk funny. Your food is just okay. And Bondi Beach is pretty mid because I visited way better beaches in the States. That is the most. Bondi Beach is actually amazing. It's so beautiful. That is such a dick thing to say to these people, but I like the little things there. MJF Brody King, he brought out the kangaroo kick.
Yes.
We haven't seen that one in quite a while. It's almost like, oh god, this is an AEW world title match, but then when he hits the kick, it looks pretty good. Yeah. So I don't mind the kangaroo kick. This was okay. I didn't necessarily love this. It wasn't my match of the night or anything, but as soon as Brody misses the cannonball, which looked like it sucked to just land on your head, it basically turned into MJF beating on him for like a big chunk of the match and then ends up winning. So I was like, okay, like I was maybe expecting a few more like hope spots in this. I wasn't expecting him to win, but
they had the great 2.99 kick out from the Gonzo bomb.
Yeah.
Which when you consider like it was they set up the same thing, right? They did the choke and then the cannonball and then the Gonzo bomb, which is how he beat him 2 weeks ago. I thought that was a great hope spot, but yeah, it didn't. I don't necessarily think that these two styles maybe go with each other too well.
Yeah, I didn't love it. Like I love both these guys, but I didn't necessarily. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't believe that he's gonna win. It's kind of the Finn Balor CM Punk thing. It's like, well, I know that you're not gonna be the guy to do this, but I still enjoy. Like I like both these guys and these characters. And Brody could easily be slotted into way more singles matches. You had the stuff Bandito came out and stuff, but you could easily go back to them as a tag team or as solo acts and competitors in this year. But top to bottom, I thought this show was great. Like if you went to this show, like this could be someone in Australia who watches and doesn't get to go because of where you live. Like this would be a more than a treat to attend and see not only some great wrestling, but you got a snapshot of like all the stars here and some great wrestling. I think my favorite match on the show was Moxley and Takeshita. Now that I think about it, just from those two going at it. But
yeah, I agree. I like that. I really like the mixed tag actually.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like everything on this was great. It felt like a really good episode of Dynamite, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it maybe didn't feel like a pay-per-view or something, but it still delivered.
It was a good show to bridge the gap in this long, like months without a pay-per-view. So it felt as big an event as you could have done without being a pay-per-view. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought AEW this week was great. Both shows were awesome.
Yeah, I thought they really knocked it out the park with Dynamite and this Grand Slam. It was a Grand Slam. Let's see if it is with Wednesday, with Dynamite, Kenny Omega versus Swerve. Like that sells the show for me. And I'm sure there's other stuff on the show, but like that sounds great. And then we had a Hangman come out afterwards with MJF. So like that's what's announced for Revolution is what Bucks and FTR and Hangman, MJF. Anything else you see added to that show? We were kind of speculating.
Yeah, Kenny Swerve, I see being on there. What else would we get? Mox Takeshita rematch.
Yeah,
I put that on there. Whether you do Speedball Fletcher as an option, maybe because you've got Okada's belt as well. Maybe you do Speedball Fletcher and Okada Kevin Knight as a thing. Thekla, who could Thekla face?
Jamie?
Yeah, Thekla and Jamie. You could go there again. You've got Willow. Like, is she going to defend the tags or the TNT title? Which way do you go with that? Yeah. It's Revolution's normally a pretty great show, so we'll see.
Hands down, it's going to be great. And then the day after is when the tickets for All In go in. So they're going to be. What do we got? We got Revolution, Dynasty, a Double or Nothing, and then an All In. That's what we got left, right? Up till there. So yeah, this week was honestly, I've been loving the last few weeks. I've really been enjoying the way they've been presenting. Like, MJF fits into this pretty easily of like, oh, I'm the evil bad guy champion. But then you just look at the playing field of all these different characters that seem hot right now and just seem like on top of the game when it comes to wrestling. So where the best wrestled, like the wrestling really connects with these shows. So let's see what they can continue this momentum. So good stuff from Grand Slam Australia. I saw some people in our Facebook Poisonrana Facebook group were commenting that they were at the show and had a good time and everything like that. So again, it's interesting when they go overseas. Same with WWE. Like, these people aren't used to this. Like, Corpus Christi, how many fucking shows do they get a year? Chicago, how many shows do they get a year? Like, Toronto, we don't get that many, but we still get way more than Australia and all that. But it is interesting seeing the indie scene and stuff blow up over there too. So cool. Good stuff. What about WWE this week?
Well, we talked about Raw on Tuesday. We covered that a bit.
We hated Becky.
Yeah, Becky AJ wasn't great. We had Cody qualify for the Elimination Chamber. Jacob Fatu and Drew seems to be maybe set as a match because there was a little Drew interfering and taking out Jacob Fatu in the main event there. But really, not a whole lot happened. You've got Liv still teasing that she might challenge Jade, but I don't see. I think Stephanie Liv makes a whole lot of sense and seems to be the way they're really going. Not loving it right now. It's these qualifiers I don't think have been particularly exciting. These triple threat matches they've been doing, and I think even though you like surprises and you like guesswork, I think you do want a bit of direction, and I don't necessarily feel we're feeling that. So I felt the slog this week with the SmackDown with 3 Hour SmackDown. But yeah, nothing really. I didn't really feel we had much movement across the board. This week.
I felt the same way. I felt the same way trying to catch up. Like, I watched Raw on Tuesday morning, but trying to catch up with some of the SmackDown. I was like, I don't care about any of this. I don't. Didn't feel. It felt like the ones that weren't good. Like when people were like, oh, 3 hours, but.
It's even the stuff that's normally good. Like I kind of, and I almost felt you heard it in the crowd as well when Mello said that the open challenge is closed this week. It's like, oh, come on, that's the good shit we get is the US Open Challenge every week. Instead, we got some just generic 6-man, 8-man tag, 10-man tag, whatever it was, with Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews, who they found in the back of a closet somewhere. I think
he's still there.
He's still there.
Wow.
That was disappointing. Not necessarily enjoying the Alexa and Charlotte stuff. I imagine they'll both qualify for the Chamber, and you'll have a similar thing to what you happen in the Rumble, maybe with those two. But I don't really care about them as a team. I think Lash has been good. I think Lash had a really good performance at the Rumble, and I think she's growing even more in confidence and stuff on the mic. I think she's got some presence about her. They teased an Io Sky and Julia match, which could be cool. Not particularly enjoying Julia at the moment, but maybe just if you let her and Io go at it, that would be cool to see. But yeah, there's not I just want to get Elimination Chamber out the way now because it's not feeling particularly interesting. And let's then really crack on with the build, because I thought we had a good start the other week. Raw with Punk and Punk and Roman was really exciting, and it felt like, yes, we're on WrestleMania season, and I'm not getting that sense on SmackDown at all.
Yeah, no, I kind of just want Elimination Chamber to be done with, so that we're only focused now on WrestleMania and only focused on where we're going, seeing the direction of what's the matches, what are the programs, what are the story. I think being as critical as maybe we were last year, it's almost like I'm kind of like, is it going to be the same thing? Is it going to be the same thing this year? I'm kind of dreading that it will be. So far they're playing.
I feel
lazy.
Last year's build was better than this so far.
At this point in time, probably.
Like I know the Roman Seth Punk direction. Like I know people wanted a singles match, but that was laid out from the Rumble. You know, you did see that was the direction they were going from the Rumble with those three, and obviously Cena we knew pretty much like from Chamber.
Well, Chamber changed everything.
Yeah.
Last year, and then we were like, oh, this is going to be so good, and then it wasn't. But you had that big moment with The Rock, John Cena at Chamber, whereas you're not going to have that this year.
No,
unless The Rock shows up to help boost ticket sales again, but I don't think that's the case. You got Punk and AJ Lee wrestling on that show. Like Chicago, they're going to show up no matter what.
Yeah.
So like, that's not an issue. Yeah, that's not an issue. It's just the actual creative of like, where are we going with some of these stories, and why should we care about some of these stories? Honestly, like they did us wrong last year. They did fans dirty, and I'm tired of people like, oh, last year wasn't that bad. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't like it. It didn't make me super hyped when Cena turned heel. It did. It had everyone, and then it just fizzled. And by the time you even got to WrestleMania, we were like hanging on to that thread of like, okay, Cody and Cena will be good though. And then Travis Scott happened. So it's like, I don't know. This year, I'm like, my hopes have definitely dropped from the year previously of Mania 40. But we got time. Post Chamber, they're gonna kick it into gear. Hopefully we'll see. But wasn't too much on the WWE front this week. But we will be talking about NXT. I just saw Post Wrestling was reporting the Georgia show.
Georgia show's off. Yeah.
Interesting.
Due to parking.
They're saying it's because of a parking lot. Now, is that true? Is that true, or does no one want to go?
I mean, this wasn't a big venue, right? No, like this was only a few hundred seats anyway. Yeah. So I'm sure they were able to shift them, but curious. So just going back to the PC again, we mentioned this on Tuesday, no real announcement for Stand and Deliver yet, and no announcement of a Vengeance Day this year either.
Yeah, NXT's, they're going to be put in a tough spot if they're going to try to fill a venue that big before WrestleMania on that Saturday. I don't think they will, and I think they're going to maybe downsize or PC or something, because it just Shiloh Hill ain't filling T-Mobile Arena, so we shall see. And then also that stuff about the fuck ice stuff that came out. CNN then reporting that WB has an ownership stake in AEW. Now that's something I think most people kind of were assuming, but seeing CNN just plain out say that, I think was like the first time people were like, oh, look, they're actual journalists and stuff like outside of the wrestling bubble, someone to be like, oh, they have a stake in it, which is interesting because what's going on with like Netflix and WB? Isn't that a whole thing?
Potentially, yeah.
Right. So like, I don't know what's to come of that, but CNN saying that is like interesting to say the least. But I'm not saying we're going to see AEW on Netflix anytime soon. But that's my last piece of the day. Noah teasing something with Netflix. Yeah. Some Japanese wrestlers were posting that they were doing a shoot for Netflix Japan today, and they were all the Noah superstars, which makes me think, did WWE help Noah get a partnership with Netflix? And is that why all these... Yeah.
Sorry, now Noah's going to be on Netflix?
All I'm saying was that they were posting photos literally before I was recording with you today. And Inamura and Marufuji were at Netflix, and they said We can't say anything right now, but big things coming. And we did a photo shoot today, or a shoot of some sort. So, like, is that why Naito, Hiromu, all these people are leaving New Japan? If they're like, fuck you, we'll just go on Netflix. Maybe go to WWE, sort of, if that makes sense. So we shall see if that actually happens. But I'm interested in that. That picture definitely was like, okay, Noah, interesting. We shall see what happens. But that's kind of all we got today. I think that's it.
I think so. Yeah.
We will be back Tuesday after NXT on Post Wrestling for a new episode of Up Next. We'll talk all about who's the champ, Joe Hendry, Dark State, the good stuff on Tuesdays. Only the best on Tuesdays on Post Wrestling. But we will be back next Sunday as well. Same time, same channel, 2 p.m. right here. We'll talk about some AEW, Kenny versus Swerve. We'll talk about what happens on Raw and SmackDown and anything else in the world of pro wrestling. You want to stay connected, poisonrana.ca. We're on Facebook, Instagram. There's a Facebook group. We have Twitter still. We got all the things you need, plus a Patreon, $5 to get so many shows per month, including movie reviews and so much more. So appreciate everyone out there listening and supporting all the frogs worldwide. Can't do it without you. And hope you had a good, it's a long weekend for us. So happy Family Day. I don't know what it is in the States, but family comes first. So happy Family Day. Happy Canada. Go Canada. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!